Hello YouTube. Orchid store in October, part number 2. Miniature Vanda, hybrid of species Vanda cristata. This is a blooming size. There is something showing in between leaves. We'll see it in nearest future. Got it from Peter Lynn last May. Growing well. This one, named Little One, a hybrid between Phalaenopsis and Vanda. I have it for a year or so. Got it at Marlowe Orchids in New York. Love orchids on mounts. Pure joy to watch their roots growing, climbing on a piece of cork and even getting through that cork. Bulbophyllum vaginatum. I got it not a long time ago. See the new growth it came with. I was thinking tied it up down to the mount, but then the other one, what can you do about it? I will let it go in all the different direction. Bulbophyllum lysiacillum. Somebody said it smells like a strawberry. So hard to believe. But that mount it is growing on, I don't really think it suits for bulbophyllums. Moss gets dry very quickly. Thinking of moving it on cork. Rinha stylis Bangkok's Sunset is a very popular orchid. This one I got on eBay, I think in July, and it has a keiki, basil keiki growing next to it. Came to me with 2 roots only. So for the last 5-6 months, all those white roots are new, and the dark color green, that's the 2 old ones, doing well. In our hot summer, I was watering it every day, soaking in a bucket. Now in the greenhouse, water it every other day. Sidereia japonica, that's a big one. I have a miniature one, grow it on windowsill. I grow her under bulbophyllums, kind of condition, less light than my Vandas get, and frequent watering for sure. On bulbophyllum fascinator, I get a better job mounting it. Put enough moss and don't have to water it every day. Just spraying, and it looks like new bulbs are producing roots and they are attaching to a cork already. Grow it since April. There is 2 new growth on it. My pride and joy neostylis Louis Nuri bluebird, growing nice root system. It is in a basket. Okay, let me get closer. It took me a year, and finally I see 2 spikes, and who knows how many flowers I will get, but can't wait to see their blue color, or kind of like purplish. One orchid grower once said, when an orchid blooming for you first time, it's like a rainbow in the sky and just for you. That's how I feel. Neostylis is Neophinitia hybrid, and it can grow even in a much cooler condition than my greenhouse, and I keep it kind of like behind Vandas. Moved Maxillaria tenuifolia in a pot with stones and lava rocks. We'll see how it goes. Before it used to be in sphagnum moss. And there is my new addition. That's a cymbidium I got on Orchid Society meeting, and it has 4 spikes. I have 2 and mine are small. I'm just tired of waiting for them to grow big into blooming size. Next to cymbidium, I have my old plant. I have it for a year or so, and last summer it doubled its size. That's dendrobium, mini dendrobium, snowflakes. Blooms from the top of the canes, and see the bright color leaves, their new growth of this year, and spikes are forming. It's a very thirsty plant, I will tell you. Dendrobium anceps is a species. Plant looks like being abused, and it's kind of like true, I won't lie to you, but there was 2 flower buds about to open, little yellow flowers, but I like it because of its leaves. Leptotis bicolor cute little guy from Brazil. Last year I had it in a pot, and beginning of this year I put it on a mount, and I can tell it does way better on a mount than in a plastic pot. Was blooming last winter with 2 flowers. This is Dendrobium anosmum. He has 2 or 3 back canes. This is Phalaenopsis belina. See, on the left there was a spike right there. And this little guy is also species Phalaenopsis parishii, deciduous one. Plant is very healthy, but all marks and spots on its leaves, it's just me throwing them in the bucket to soak and not taking a good care. But I put it on mount this spring. It grows his little roots. Here I have 2 Anthuriums. One of them Anthurium lemon heart, another one Anthurium lemon drops. They kind of like look like they compete. Who will grow spike taller? We'll see when they bloom. I will pull them out. One is pure solid yellow color. The other one looks like sweet sugar. And back there is Anthurium sweet baby with 2 spikes. That's what I like about Anthuriums. When they give you 2 spikes from one bulb, not just one. This one is blooming 3rd time this year. And one more Anthurium in spike. This one is Yellow Parade. See, that's how my plants get abused when I throw them in a bucket and leaves get scratched and damaged. This is Bulbophyllum lobii, that huge leaf we grew last summer. Actually, it's a bigger looking bulb and bigger looking leaves, plus it has 2 or 3 new growths. When I see a bigger bulb, it's always a good sign. The next one, let's pull Dendrobium wesselii. They used to call it Dacrylia wesselii. This is a species. Last summer we grew those 3 pseudobulbs or leaves. I'm not sure how they call them, but the latest one is bigger again, plus it started a branch out. Have it in my care about a year, got it from Phibbs Conservatory Botanical Garden in Pittsburgh. Not a blooming size, but getting there. But actually it's division, it should bloom soon. And I like its cool nickname, Pencil Orchid. Irangus fastuosa, I got it last May, mounted it, and since then we are growing roots. See, they grow pretty well, but no one leaf yet. Somebody please tell me if it's a blooming size or not. I know they're not growing big plants. Let me move Spanish moss from my way. I can't even afford to gain a pound. That's how tiny my greenhouse is to fit in it. So this is a Bulbophyllum wendlandii species, also bloomed last summer with 3 beautiful spikes, long red flowers, and 5 months later finally growing new growth. Pseudobulbs are so plump and round, sometimes they even get cracked like this one on it. I'm thinking maybe too much nitrogen. Bulbophyllum blooms once a year, but that moss it's sitting on blooms constantly. That's a live moss. Next out of bucket is Darwin's orchid, Angrecum diderii, the miniature one. Put it on mount also, I think, in May. Roots are growing beautifully, getting attached. And if you look closer, see on the left there is a teeny tiny pimple on it. I have a good feeling what this is about. I think it's going to bloom for me first time. Little things like that makes me feel very good, like I'm doing something great. The next one, Epidendrum melanoporphyrerum. Some people call it purple orchid. It blooms with almost black flowers, but maybe very deep purple. was from the same haul I got in May. Put it on a mount. See, there is 2 or 3 little bumps. Looks like we are growing babies and roots are getting attached beautifully, nicely. We love her even more when she blooms. On one shelf down there is Phalaenopsis Sweet Memory, a famous one, big puffs, and there is Stanhope gangora. My friend sent it to me, and see, there is even violet plant in it. Was a free attachment, more puffs and maxillaria. There is big Phalaenopsis, I think it's Sogayukidan. I have to look at the tag, the Phragmipedium, and teeny tiny Phragmipediums with little trays under their pots, cuts of Hoya plants my friend sent me. Frags are still small. I was torturing them some time ago, was trying to divide, send to all my friends for them to grow the same plants. I guess they did not like it, but it's okay, they will grow. And this is a huge piece of bark. I found it in woods walking my dog one day in May, I think, and I put 4 mini Phalaenopsises on. And see, the bottom one grows big, then the second one a little bit smaller, then the third one with very soft leaves, leathery look, and not even attached properly, but trying, see, the root is trying to get attached. And the fourth one on the top, really loose, trying to throw 1 or 2 spikes, and there is a little root. Little guy was not getting enough water. That's why I will water that piece of bark from the top down to the bottom while it's hanging. So the bottom ones, they were getting drink, not the top one. That's a difference, right? And this Mexican guy is Epidendrum falcatum. Maybe next spring I can get blooms from him. I grow it since April. A few new growths, and my friend has one. She said flowers smell amazing. Thinking on replacing old moss in spring sometime. Stanhope hernandezii was hanging in basket outside all summer. Now I took wire off and just shovel her underneath the shelf for a winter rest. But lately I learned Stanhopes can bloom any time of the year, which I did not know, and thinking, what if it throw a spike again, because it keeps producing new growth still, non-stop. What about winter rest? She had 2 flower spikes in summer. One I broke right away, simply did not notice it coming out. There is my Lycaste, huge bulbs. In the summer season we grew one on the left and it's already lost its leaves, and 2 are still forming. Have her for 10 months, don't know what I'm doing with her, but it's alive and I'm happy. But I am kind of know what I'm doing and very proud about a couple Silogenies I have. This one is Unchained Melody. Grew 6 bulbs last summer and they're getting fatter and chubbier, and it bloomed for me with 2 spikes. Last season we will see what she's gonna give us this time. Another Silogeny I got, that's a species Flacida, growing bulbs. Had to cut that basket. I know baskets look kind of like funny. I need to find a better one. Also new bulbs are forming. Love this one, they're so fragrant, both of them. Now, sad part of my orchid tour in October. There is my Vinda Cerulea. It threw out 3 spikes in the end of August, and flowers started to die, and I got only 1 open, but how beautiful it is. I don't know why, maybe it didn't have enough strength to push all 3 spikes, And the second vanda is Robert's Delight with a very good root system. It had two spikes. This one had less flowers and the other one had way more flower buds. And see what happened? Now only one flower is left. It was hanging now right here on that window thing, but before it was on a hook in my pile-ram greenhouse, and hook got broken, vanda fell on the floor, and spike got broken. Yeah, all I have left. Oh my god, I could not believe my eyes. I was waiting for them to bloom the whole year. Just crying looking at this picture. But let's talk about something good. This is Dendrobium aggregatum, the Australian species. Some people call it Dendrobium lindleyi. It doubled its size last summer. I was feeding him like a crocodile all summer, watering, and now at this point I stopped watering and put it in a cool spot I could find in my greenhouse. I wish I have more light, but I have what I have, and I can see media is dry already. Plant is strong, and pseudobulbs store enough nutrients and moisture for the whole plant to get through cool and dry period to stimulate blooming in spring. Love this guy. The same way I treat my Dendrobium speciosum. Oops, sorry, the camera got upside down. I can't change it now. Pseudobulbs are strong and have a good root system. I will watch pseudobulbs. If they get wrinkly a little bit, I might spray, but will try not. This is nobile kind Dendrobium Princess Assai. I stopped watering it too because the older pseudobulbs or canes got buds on them, which is exciting for me. Last year plant was too small, so I don't even remember how blooms look on the picture, so I want to surprise myself. Not googling it for sure. Recently ordered two vandas from Thailand. Got a package and see, one vanda came with one root. That's how I watering it now. There is only one root. The seller did not put tags on plants, so I have no idea what is this one or what is the other one. I better get them bloom someday to figure it out who is who. Cycnodis from Sunset Valley Orchid is about to open, only two flowers, but I'm happy even with two flowers. Catasetums are not my strong side. There is a lot to learn. One of my big Dendrobium nobile is spiking. Middle of September we got really cold nights, which triggered the flower buds. I stopped watering it already, put it in another pot, and media is dry. Roots are okay, I can see them, and but can feel there is still moisture left inside the media, even I'm not watering it for a couple weeks already. This one has gorgeous flowers in pink and green together. All canes are spiking, but only one, this one. It might catch up later with the others, but even if not, I'm happy with that, with what I have. I feel like there is something coming out, but yeah, feels like it might push buds also. She bloomed last time on 3 spikes. See, there are old ones. I did not cut them off. They will have plenty to get through the dry period and will have this little cakey growing on. I just want to spoil this little one with the water, just a little bit. He's a cute baby. Anthelium Tsuko Margaret, growing like a weed. It's blooming non-stop. It had 4 spikes before and they are dry already. I did not even cut them off, and pushing out new ones like a twinkle oncidium. 2 spikes from both sides of the bulbs. Flowers are white, very fragrant and very small, but there are so many of them. When flowers are open, my greenhouse smells like a cake factory. This is Zygopetalum. I love this plant. I have only one. It bloomed last month with 2 spikes from one bulb. This one actually getting old that leaf. Zygopetalums, they have very strong root system, almost like cymbidiums. Plastic pot is getting deformed. There is a lot of roots inside. What I like about zygos, they throw a spike from a new growth when bulb is not even formed yet. See, there is 2 spike I just cut off and there is no bulb, and this one is going to bloom next very soon. Bulbs are plumped, and I took this plant on our last society meeting. Next video I will make about my blooming plants. They are all inside my house. I gotta enjoy them. But I wanna show you one more, Phalaenopsis philippinense. Got it last year, growing in the beautiful foliage, beautiful roots. And while I was filming, I just found it's going to spike for me. Maybe not too soon, but still, maybe in spring sometime. See, on the left, the red little bump. There is a root on the right actually. Thank you guys for watching, especially if you made it that far in my long video. And happy growing everybody, and also happy belated Halloween. See ya until next time. Bye bye.